Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and we gather on the day of our Lord and Savior Toneth Hawketh, who hath returned, to talk about Xbox. Why are we doing that here today? Well, join me in a little bit of reflection first to set things up. So, can you believe that around this time last year, we were talking about rumors of Xbox making the leap to multi-platform and what exactly that would mean for the brand? Many of us agreed that this would kill the brand, and in a sense, it kind of has. You look at the hardware sales, whether it be more nuanced stats, like how is Xbox doing this January compared to last January in hardware sales? Oh, they're down like 50%. Got it. Or their lack of a major holiday bump despite having great content ready for you, whether it be a more niche day one Game Pass title like Stalker 2, a big popular game like Call of Duty, again, day one on Game Pass, or fantastic exclusives like Indiana Jones. Still didn't move them past the stinky Switch in the last year of its life cycle, which is crazy to think about. What this kind of reaffirms is what we've talked about a lot, that Xbox, even I who fought a little bit against it, and just the nature of like, you're gonna kill the brand a bit, bro. You know, when it comes to business and making money, they're about to prove a lot of people wrong if the recent statistics we have here are anything to go by, because their latest port, mind you, of a game that already did insanely well is beating out games that are going to be hot on the market. I'm talking Assassin's Creed, WWE, I'm talking MLB The Show. This new port is beating out all of those games and proving that, number one, the brand appeal is low for Xbox, but number two, that people will buy it elsewhere. And what exactly does this mean for the future of Xbox? We'll get into that, but ladies and gentlemen, first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Carmen Sandiego is back, and in a big way. Now, I don't know if you all knew this, but she's been around since 1985, popping up in games, TV shows, and now movies. She's on this new globe-trotting adventure. I've been playing the game a little bit, and it's honestly a really fun time, especially when you look at the original point-and-click adventure games. It's like night and day with this new one, while retaining that spirit. Now, despite the glow-up, Carmen Sandiego will still pack a nostalgic factor for long-time fans. And I also love just kind of the choices that you make alongside this adventure. Like, you'll have this timer that's ticking down. You have to be very careful about like where you're going to fly to and what clues you're actually going to look for, because otherwise you could end up missing out on the suspect as part of Vile. The game will respect the originals with Easter eggs that are calling back to them, but also, again, as you can tell, for someone like me, welcoming newcomers to the series. And best of all, you get to play as the woman herself. You're going to visit places like Tokyo and use gadgets to outsmart Vile as you go about your missions. These are things from like hacking all the way to cracking other puzzles. And they sent me an amazing care package, by the way. It came with a doll that I know my niece is absolutely going to adore. They also have a great choose your own adventure style book here, but there's also a little secret packed away when using the blue light, which I thought this was just so awesome. And inside is a game key here. So this game packs a ton of fun, a ton of identity in it. And if you're eager to go do some detective work, you don't have to wait. You can get your adventure started today on console or PC. All right, first the stats. Forza Horizon 5 is topping the PS5 pre-order charts in multiple countries. It's number one in the UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Mexico, Brazil, and it's number 3, 4, and 13 in the United States. And you can see it right here. Its premium edition is beating out WWE 2K 2025 and all of its editions. It's beating out Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's beating out Days Gone Remastered, Elden Ring Night Reign. I'm not going to read too deeply into, but this is some steep competition it is beating out. Mind you that the number one on a lot of these charts, or one of the highest ranking ones on a lot of these charts, is the premium edition. This was the biggest one I read extremely deep into, because that, alongside this game just being so popular everywhere else already, said so much to me that the premium version, despite it literally being there on a PC or an Xbox or cloud streaming, like Game Pass, it's there, and it has, I think, over 40 million players. Like, that is absolutely absurd that people are still paying top dollar for early access to a game that has been on the market for a long while. So this just says to Xbox, like, oh, we can even double dip on that? Okay. You'll pay for early access for something that, like, it's an artificial pay barrier is what it is, but people are showing they're willing to pay. And it also shows how deeply invested some are in their ecosystem, right? Where this game was by and large considered a major success over on the Xbox side of the field, right? Because you looked at that player count, and even if you said like hey, look, 5 million sales. Like, that's still pretty great for Forza Horizon 5. I think it might be arguably more, but it is one of the most played Xbox games this generation. And despite that, it's still showing insane numbers as it makes the leap over to PlayStation. I was also surprised to see it beating out WWE. WWE is hot right now. Do you see that Cena heel turn? I mean, this bro turned heel the same week that I did. He's trying to copy my flow. Can you believe that? MLB The Show always kills, and Forza Horizon 5 is ahead of that. And although I think a lot of people are anti-Ubisoft right now, particularly in the hardcore gaming circle, and I'm right there with you, I don't like what Ubisoft's doing right now. You look at the Assassin's Creed brand, it still is strong enough where it is a strong seller and a good measure for just how popular Forza Horizon 5 is seemingly going to be. We already had a statistic last year that in the dying months of 2024 really showed something for Xbox's pivot with particular games. While titles like Hi-Fi Rush or Pentiment didn't really chart, and I will admit I was very surprised to see not much buzz around Hi-Fi Rush making that leap. For how loud gamers are about that game, I thought that would absolutely kill on at least Nintendo Switch, but it seems like that wasn't the case. But Xbox is more like live servicey titles that are well established have found a great amount of success over on PlayStation. For example, Sea of Thieves, we learned, was a top 20 best-selling game on PlayStation last year. That's crazy to think about. So I think that was the moment Xbox went, hey, even if we were going to do this anyway, now we definitely have to do it. We were a top seller on the market with a game that's been out since like 2017. And no doubt it's had its fair share of like relaunches and reinvigorating the brand. So I'm not downing Sea of Thieves. It's a great game now, but that tells them everything, that we have these great games and we know it, but people are actually going to go buy them elsewhere. So up next is Indiana Jones. That was apparently coming spring 2025 as it was announced at Gamescom, and Satya Nadella confirmed that this had over 4 million players on Xbox and PC alone. So what I'm really interested to see is how this one charts when it gets announced and it starts having its pre-orders go up, because if there's any game that I hope from the Xbox family, if you will, comes over to multiple platforms and absolutely kills it, I pray it's Indiana Jones. That was a top 3 game of the year for me last year. It was such a pleasant surprise in so many ways. It's exploration, it's interactivity, it's just complete faithfulness to the films. It may as well have been a film itself. Like the music, the performance from Troy Baker. It's a game we'll be talking about for years, no doubt about it. And I am so excited for more people to get their hands on it. So I hope that's a game that kills. But that'll be the next part of the conversation, is when will Xbox have one of those high profile single player titles that really pops off over on PlayStation? Because we have yet to see that. And that's where we start to avert our gaze a bit. This is the Band-Aid rip year. Again, I've said this many times to just prepare those who are Xbox diehards that are like, no, it's not happening. Well, okay, we warned you, because everything from Halo to Gears, they seem to maybe even be indicating a Fable, a Hellblade 2, Starfield. Like, these games are going to make the jump. We're seeing unprecedented changes from Xbox in real time. We had Phil Spencer recently say, we're going to put PlayStation branding in our Xbox showcases. We just saw the head of Xbox Game Studios during a Fable update talk about how excited they are for the Direct. Do you get it yet? Like, this is it. The brand you once knew and I knew is gone, in the sense that, you know, they're not the hardcore exclusive games publisher anymore. They're going after their bag because they're seeing that people are actually going to buy their stuff on other platforms. And when they see, oh, y'all are popping off over like a little Forza, like that's one of the big 3 when I look at Xbox. Like, to me, it's Forza, Gears, Halo. Like, those have been a part of Xbox heritage for generations. So when Forza makes that jump, you don't think that's setting off the alarm bells? Like, Halo should make the jump. Gears should make the jump. Why not Starfield? Like, games like Starfield, for example, can benefit from a shot in the arm. Right now, that game feels, to be frank, very dead in the water. No one's talking about it. It's not seeing as much play as it once was. The updates have dramatically slowed down. It's at the point I'm like, is Starfield even going to get a second expansion? Like, they've just gone so quiet because obviously everyone, including Microsoft, I imagine, wants Bethesda to move on to Elder Scrolls 6. But that's a game that could get renewed interest with a port to a new audience, plus the announcement of an expansion. Like, these are new leases on lives for these games in different ways. It brings new people into these communities in ways that are going to be important moving forward. as I talked about with the Fable reboot, it's like, well, if you're Xbox, why not bring like Fable 1, 2, and 3 and just cash in one last time before your next big reboot hits after investing in it for like 7-8 years? And personally, I think games like Halo, just by the novelty of it all, like just the, oh my God, this is real. Like, I'm buying Halo on Switch and PlayStation just because I'm going to be like, this is weird, man. I don't know how I feel about this. This is weird, man. But you know what? Like, I think a lot of people are going to do that. Like, what is Halo like on the Switch? Why not? But at the baseline of all of this, you have last year, a top selling game on PlayStation is an Xbox game. And this year you have a port of one of Xbox's most popular games this generation doing insane pre-order numbers ahead of highly profitable, well-marketed games that have a lot of buzz around them and a lot of positive energy around them outside of Assassin's Creed Shadows. But I digress. That is what Forza Horizon 5 is doing. And in turn, as of the theme of this video, I always eventually get around to it, Xbox has proven a lot of people wrong. A lot of folks said this was a dumb idea, and I know we fought with it with our emotions, but when you look at the sales and the money it's going to be generated, it's going to come at a cost. We already talked about that to open things up. It's the hardware. They're paying a price there, and I don't know how they plan to turn that one around. I mean, again, I think just an open platform is the best they can do now, where it's just like, buy your games here, because it'd be stupid to buy them anywhere else, because multiple platforms can live on our platform. If they can pull that off, I think that'll be their key. But otherwise, you got to get a ton of platforms to play ball with that. So we'll see how it goes there. So it did come at a price, but they're about to make a lot of money. So it's interesting to monitor these sorts of things. Just wanted to talk a bit about it here today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts down below. How are you feeling about what's going on with Xbox and these numbers and what Forza Horizon 5 is pulling off? And what do you think is going to make the jump next after Indy? Let me know down below. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.